Hey everyone, welcome back to Le Mans Ultimate for what turns out to be an incredibly frustrating GTE race at Portimao. Now I qualified really well and I'm starting from P5 on the grid, just a couple of tenths behind the top three. This meant I began the race with real hopes of a podium battle, but it soon became clear that I may have set my sights just a little too high. Not much went right in this one. Here we go then, this one is underway, starting from P5, but have I got the pace to get into the podium positions? Well, I've certainly got the pace to get alongside Andy Heinzler, but look on my inside, the Corvette coming through, Jonathan Jusso barging his way through into T1, that pushes me wide, it pushes Andy Heinzler even wider. Now I take another nudge, this time from Rhys Sean in the Ferrari, and now I've got another Ferrari on the inside through turn 3, that's Adwick, so I am getting beaten up good and proper on this opening lap. I thought I might be able to snatch 4th position going into turn 1. I come out of turn 1 down in 7th. And look at Wick, he's going to have a dive up the inside into the hairpin. If I'm not careful here, I'm going to lose another position. I'm going to try and carry the momentum around the outside. I bang doors with Wick exiting the hairpin. And I'm down to P8, so I've got to get my elbows out here. This position isn't lost yet. I've got the inside line for these upcoming 2 turns, so I'm going to have to be really assertive through this section, and I have held off Wick. I've managed to hold on to 7th position. But what a rough opening half a lap this has been. It all started when Jonathan Jusso in the Corvette dived up the inside into that first corner. Jusso started behind me, P7 on the grid. He finds himself in P4 now. Right behind him, Rhys Sean in the Ferrari, P5. Then it's Andy Heinzler, P6, and me in P7. So a drop of 2 positions. Let's go back and check out a replay of this chaotic first corner at Portimao. Now I'm the white and green Ferrari on the inside, but watch the yellow Corvette behind me. Jusso is gritting his teeth and going for it here, but as soon as he hits that raised curb at T1, it forces him out wide, it pushes me out wider, and it pushes Andy Heinzler out wider still. Then I've got to deal with Rhys Sean, and I also come under attack from Adwick. So yeah, really aggressive start to this race, and I came off the worst there. I started in P5, but I find myself down in P7 as we approach the end of this opening lap. So what can I do about it? Can I challenge Heinzler? Well, I've certainly got the run on him through the final turn. Behind Wick is nearly a second back, so I don't have to worry about him. Instead, I can focus on this Porsche in front, using the toe, pulling out of the slipstream and trying to make a move up the inside into T1. Now I'm going to have to do it cleaner than Jusso did. Oh, but I don't at all. I lock up the brakes, slide right across track. Dear me, I didn't get that at all right, and now I'm going to be under attack from Adwick behind. Oh, there's contact. I almost spin around. I have to wrestle with the car to keep it pointed in the right direction, but I've put myself under unnecessary pressure here with a terrible attempt at an overtake. Let's have another look at it. And thank goodness Andy Heinzler was streetwise enough to see what I was trying to do, anticipate my mistake, and just lift at the perfect time to avoid me. I could have easily taken out the Porsche there. So yeah, foolish move that was. If I am going to get past Heinzler, I want to do it safely, so I'm going to have to be a lot more careful as we return to the live action on this 3rd lap. I've managed to gap Wick again. He is now 1 second behind in 8th, so I can concentrate once again on the Porsche in front. Can I engineer another way through here? Well, I've got a much smoother line through turn 8. This might be my opportunity. Up over the brow of the hill, down into the dip. We're side by side. I'm going to have to get my elbows out again. Or more importantly, I'm going to have to do it far more safely than my previous attempt at turn 1. I have managed it though. That was a really good pass. I'm back up into 6th position. Let's go back and take another look at this one. And yeah, I'm really happy with this overtake. Set it up perfectly coming into T8. Got a better run out of the corner. Saw the gap on the inside as we go up over the brow of the hill. That gave me the advantage. At this point, we're side by side, and it's all about holding your nerve. Thankfully, I did, and I did it safely. Right, back to the live action then. We're starting lap 4, and I'm now 3 seconds behind Rhys Sean in 5th position. Can I close that gap? Well, the yellow flags are out as we approach T1. Have we lost one of the front runners? No, it looks like a backmarker, Max Lafont. And what is Lafont doing? He's coming straight for me. Oh, I have to take avoiding action there. I had no choice but to run out into the gravel. That is going to cost me big time. I am now under attack from Andy Heinzler. And Heinzler surely is going to have the momentum to snatch that 6th position back. It may get worse because Oliver Johan behind is also smelling blood. So I'm going to have to take the defensive line into this hairpin and hope that I can hold on to P7. Johan on my outside. I've just about managed to hold him off. But I can't believe how unlucky I was there. I worked so hard to get past Heinzler and then a lap later it's thrown away. Now this is the replay of what happened to Lafont. He loses it at the start of the previous lap and look at that, he's knocked his rear wing off in that incident. Now, to be fair to Lafont, he took that battered Porsche into pit lane, but for some reason he exited without having his repairs done. As he comes back onto the track, he is still missing that rear wing, and that is crucial because he's going to lose it straight away. As soon as he tries to turn that Porsche into T1, he's got no downforce and no control. Now, the leaders are coming at this point. That's first, second, and third coming past. There's fourth, and we'll shortly see fifth. He's doing exactly the right thing at this point. He's waiting, but then he decides to rejoin. Unfortunately for me, it's right in front of me, and that's how close he came to taking me out when he loses control for a second time. But talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I worked so hard to make that excellent overtake on Heinzler and then lost it a lap later through no fault of my own. However, we're now approaching the part of the track where I made that pass. Can I do it again? I know that I'm quicker than Heinzler through this section, so once again I'm going to try and force my way up the inside. We're side by side for a second time. Heinzler is being a bit tougher this time. He is not going to surrender that position as easily, and he holds on to it. And all the while I've got Oliver Johan breathing down my neck behind. He is just 0.3 of a second back, so there is absolutely no margin for error here. I close right back in on Heinzler. Oh, but I just lose a bit of grip mid-corner. That might cost me a tenth or two. It looks like Johan had similar difficulties through that section. He has dropped back a bit now, 0.7 the gap back to Johan. Well, I didn't have to worry about Johan for too much longer. On the next lap, he came under attack from that bright green Porsche of Greg Coulard. Coulard tries a sweeping move around the outside of turn 3 and that gives him 8th position. Then at the hairpin, Johan is just a little bit too greedy on the gas, exiting the corner. The rear steps out and Johan has gone. Right, back to the live action at the start of lap 9. Andy Heinzler still holding on to that 6th position, but I am just 0.2 of a second behind in 7th. I'm close, I'm really close, but I'm just not close enough to make a pass. A slight mistake from Heinzler there through T1. He runs out a little bit wide. Behind me, Coulard is as close to me as I am to Heinzler now. The three of us are separated by less than 1 second. This is a three-way battle for 6th position now. And I really do feel like I've got a bit more pace than Heinzler in front, but I just can't find that way through. Braking hard into the hairpin now. Coulard closing in. Oh, he gets a little bit too close. I just get a bit of a tap exiting the hairpin. I was really worried about my rear spinning around there. Thankfully, I've managed to keep it facing in the right direction. Right, I know I'm stronger than Heinzler through this section, so can I get a smoother line once again and have another go at this overtake? I'm swarming over the rear of that Porsche now. I'm going to move to the inside again. Oh, but Heinzler's wise to it this time. He just goes a bit more defensive to close off that line. And I think I might have shown my hand one too many times with that move. So let's jump forward now to the start of lap 10 and see if I can find another way to get past Heinzler. We've seen him make a couple of mistakes exiting T1, so if I can apply some real pressure here, maybe I can force him into another one, and he has made that mistake. He's really wide. I tuck it up the inside. Oh no! I've been ordered to give the position back. I must have just gone over track limits. And LMU is really strict with these rules. You've got to give the position back pretty quickly or you get DQ, so I've got no choice here but to let Heinzler back past, and of course that is going to give Coulard the opportunity to get past as well. So not only have I lost 6th position, I've lost 7th position too. And I can't believe how unlucky I've been there. I thought that was the opportunity I'd been waiting for, but race direction said otherwise. Let's take another look at the replay and we'll see just how close it was. Now we're looking to see if all 4 of my tyres leave the track. Oh, they do, just inches over that white line. But the frustrating thing is the 2 cars behind me were way wider, and yet they both get gifted a position from it. So yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel just a little bit hard done by from that decision. But I can't dwell on it now. I've got to concentrate on what's going on in front because Coulard is putting Heinzler under all kinds of pressure now. Is he going to try for a move up the inside into turn 3? Yes, he is. This might open up a gap. I'm going to go for it. Oh, there's a big hit. We bashed doors. And that may have been a bit over-ambitious on my part. I thought the gap would be there, but it closed rapidly. Right, jumping forward now to lap 12, and I am still all over the rear of Heinzler's Porsche, just 0.2 of a second as we approach my strongest section of the track. Now, I do think that Heinzler is wise to my move here, so maybe I'll try something a little bit different. Can I move to the outside and then get the inside line for the upcoming right-handers? Well, it doesn't look like I can because I just get squeezed out onto the curb, so I am still staring at the rear spoiler of this Porsche. And it feels like I've spent the entire race trying to get past cars that are slower than me and ultimately dropping backwards because of it. Look in the rearview mirror now. We've got 3 more drivers all within 1 second. Yannick Steimer and Gabriel Caderet side by side in the battle for 9th. Jonathan Ledoux right behind them. All 3 of them waiting to pounce. So I've got to get a move on here. I've got to get past Andy Heinzler. I'm going to try and force my way up the inside into the final corner. But once again, I get squeezed out onto the curb. There's contact. And unbelievably, we both get through it in one piece. I felt sure I was going to spin that Porsche around there. Incredible stuff. Right, lap 13 now. Is there anything else I can do? I feel like I'm repeating myself once again, but can I make this pass out of turn 8? I'm going to position myself on the inside, try and get a faster exit up over the brow of the hill. Oh no, once again, Heinzler squeezing me out. I have no choice but to lift, and that is going to a vital attack from Gabriel Caderet. Honestly, I don't know what is happening here. Every time I try and challenge for a position, I end up losing one instead. Caderet up into 8th, I'm down to 9th, and do you know what? Caderet might have a look up the inside of Andy Heinzler here. He does do. He forces his way through and picks up another position. Well, maybe I need to be a bit more forceful like Caderet was there, but every time I've tried it so far, it has not worked, and this is another example. I just get squeezed out on the inside. That allows Caderet to swoop around the outside. Okay, back to the live action. It's lap 14. There is just 1 minute left on the clock now, so this is my last opportunity to try and get past Andy Heinzler. I've given up attempting the pass at this part of the circuit. Instead, I'm going to try and emulate Caderet. I'm going to try and tuck it up the inside into that left-hander. And Heinzler has missed the apex there. That is perfect for me. That gets me as close as I need to be. I'm within striking distance now, so I am going to go for it. Up the inside into this left-hander. Oh no, but I've locked up the brakes again. A spear right across track for the second time. And I've lost another position. Now I'm down to P10. What a fool. I mean, yeah, I've literally tried everything I possibly could to get past Andy Heinzler, and I just couldn't find a way. This was my last throw of the dice, and for the second time this race, I'm grateful to Heinzler for being so switched on. He anticipated me locking up and making that dive bomb, and he read it perfectly. Thankfully, I didn't take him out, but that's 2 occasions I really could have. So yeah, not my finest hour this one. We're on the last lap now, and I'm pinning my hopes on the battle in front turning physical. And a huge lock-up from Heinzler there. That is going to allow Jonathan Ledoux to breeze past. Is that going to give me one final opportunity? Well, we're going to end this race in familiar fashion, swarming over the rear end of that Porsche. Well, one thing I'm certainly not going to do is try and sling it up the inside here again. I'm going to tuck myself in right behind Heinzler now and just hope that he makes another mistake through these final 2 corners. I don't think he's going to. And in fact, I'm a little bit offline through there as well. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to settle for 10th position here. This race started with so much promise. I thought I might be able to challenge for a podium. In the end, I've just sank like a stone, and I'm going to have to settle for a place in the top 10. Ledoux in 8th, Heinzler 9th, me in 10th, and here are the classified results. And I was certainly the victim of slower traffic in this race. My qualifying time was a 1:44.7. If I'd managed to get some open track and start putting in those lap times, I would have certainly been challenging for a podium. As it was, I got held up for the majority of this race and had to settle for 10th position. But that's the way racing goes sometimes. I had a lot of bad luck in there as well. Having to avoid that backmarker and lose 6th position, that was a real blow, as was the penalty and having to give that position back for exceeding track limits. Throw in a couple of foolish dive bomb attempts as well, and it's been a pretty rough day at the office. Thank you ever so much for watching. Cheers for now.